Right, so I'm going to show you something now that a lot of people would say is old hat, old fashioned, not needed anymore, etc. Which I suppose to a degree is true, but you know, it can be really useful to be able to wire a plug. You might want to, you might have an under counter fridge, say. You're going to have to feed the cable up through the worktop and rewire it. So it can be a useful thing still. I think they do try and teach this in school still, I believe, but I've seen examples of the result, and trust me, you wouldn't want to be plugging those in. So I figure it'd be worth having a little look just to see, you know, how you can do it yourself. So let's have a look. Okay, so let's firstly unscrew this. I have no idea what sort of type this is inside. Let's have a little look. Okay, that's fine. So that's got a sort of thing there that will pinch onto the cable. All right, so we have live, neutral and earth. This is a cable that assumes you need an earth, so all three cores are in there. So first thing I'm going to do is to cut the cable so I've got enough length. So I want it to at least be long enough to reach the earth. The other ones are going to be shorter, so you can cut those back. So yeah, you can sort of, it's probably better to cut it a little bit long, if anything, and then you can trim them back. But so I'm going to say around there. Now, to get in here, I actually like to use a knife. This is probably sharper than you really need, but I'm just going to run that round the outer cable just gently, because this is a pretty sharp knife. Don't try and go all the way through. And then I'm just going to bend it like that, and you can see it's broken the outer apart. So I don't need to cut through it particularly hard or anything like that. And of course, you don't want to be damaging the inner cores, because you're gonna, you know, you're gonna make it potentially unsafe then. Okay, so off that comes, and now I can see I've actually cut that an awful lot more than I need. So I'm gonna trim them back now. So I'm gonna say, you can judge it by just holding the end there and trim that one off. And I can do the same with the other ones. As that's through there. So the insides of these, of course, as I'm sure you know, do vary a little bit. And how they're clamped on, etc. So I think that will be plenty. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to trim the ends of these off. Now I love to use these automatic trimmers. I know I've seen guys just use side cutters and just rip the ends off. You can do that. You know, it's a bit hit and miss though, because you never know whether you're going to take some of the inner strands apart by doing that. So I like to use these because they just work basically. So if I just pop that in there, I'm going to pull that back a little bit. Give myself plenty. Okay. Same on the earth and same on the neutral. Now we're going to give these a little twist, because you don't want them splaying out basically. You don't want stray strands of wire. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So they're all, in fact, the live and neutral, the brown and blue there are virtually the same length actually. Okay, so that's that bit. Right, so these parts here, sometimes you get a little sort of cradle over the top with a screw down part over the top. And this is what you call strain relief. So basically, you know, people tend to pull on the cable sometimes, so this should hold it in place. These ones here, they just sort of push, so if people try and pull the cable, it will stop them going that direction. Now I can just basically push the cable in there and get it. I've gone a little bit too far actually. I'll push that through there. Okay, that's plenty. So I may have to trim these back a little bit more actually, because I might have misjudged, but that's the thing about having them longer than you need rather than shorter. You'd have to start completely again. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this screw here at the top is nicely undone. Can't see very well, need a bit more light. And then literally going to push that in there. I'm going to use my tweezers because I've got big fingers and make sure that's fully home and simply screw it down. Okay, give that a little tug, make sure it's got it. Yep, perfect. And then the live, bit more awkward, so I think what I'm going to do is remove the fuse so I've got better access. Pop that out, and again unscrew there, make sure it's plenty loose, and then okay, make sure that's not got any stray strands. Push that under the clamp and retighten. Okay, and just push that clear, and then same for the neutral. Make sure that's nice and loose. Push inside. Now you should really put the inner strands here so that it goes in the direction of the way you're screwing, so sort of wrapped around in a clockwise direction, so I suppose you'd say. Okay, push that home. There we go. That's fine. It's a little easy. You could use long nose pliers to push that in there, or your fingers if you've got nice thin fingers. There we go. And that's basically it. So pop the fuse back in. Of course, you do have to make sure you're using the correct fuse depending on what you're using, what appliance it's connected to. So obviously check that first. And that's about it really. On goes the cover, screw back in, and that is good to go basically. So this is used purely for demonstration purposes. I should say this can't actually, as you can see, it's got a bare end. It's been modified so you can't actually plug it in. So as I say, just for demonstration purposes. And that's about it really, but it should be, you know, everything, you should make sure you've got the wires inside cut to a good length. You don't want excess all kind of splayed round in like spaghetti in there. You certainly don't want to be seeing those inner cores hanging out the end. Those are the sort of things you should look out for, and perhaps even give the inner cores a little tug, make sure that they really have bitten on properly. And that's about it really. Okay, there you go.